Ms. Houle?
Ms. Gardner?
Here.
Mr. Janke?
I'm here.
Mr. Wareham?
Here.
Mr. Halkola?
Here.
Yes.
Apologies to Cindy, convened without alerting her. We have a quorum present. The first formal item on our agenda is approval of our agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as proposed?
I'll make the motion.
Ms. Gardner, is there support?
Ms. Clerk?
Ms. Houle, are there any proposed additions, suggested deletions at all to the proposed agenda? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion to approve the agenda as proposed, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
One thing, Mark, I guess put it under new business, but, truck tires under.
Bob, you wanna make that part of your report?
Can.
Okay. Thank you. You have an agenda with the understanding that there'll be a
I'm just gonna write truck tires here.
truck tire under Bob's report. Next item on our agenda is approval of the minutes from our November 10th meeting. They are in your packet. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes for the November 10th meeting as presented?
Mark,
Motion.
I have one question. On unfinished business, A, residents inquiring if yard work will be complete before winter.
That's no longer on the agenda.
I gave you a different one.
You
That's
should
the
have an
old one.
updated agenda,
No, I
Bob.
mean, I'm talking about the last meeting.
It's like a meeting minutes.
But that's,
Meeting minute from last month.
Oh,
Oh, that's what he said. Which one is it?
Unfinished A,
Unfinished A, okay.
Residents inquiring if yard work will be complete before winter.
it was a question that came up
yeah.
at the meeting.
This is written in the form of a question,
Yeah.
so I guess that should be a question mark there, or?
Should be a question. It was an inquiry. It's ongoing. Where are we in our agenda? If I may to pull us all back together?
I guess you can if you want to.
Yeah, let's, thank you.
You're under approval of the minutes.
We're under- yeah,
I'll
looking,
support.
Wait, what are we
Is there-
doing?
let's back up. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
I'll make it.
Mr. Wareham, is there support?
I'll support.
We have a motion and support. Are there suggested changes, deletions, corrections to the minutes as presented?
Do we need a little question mark there?
Change the punctuation under unfinished business, item A.
I guess.
Update residents inquired if yard work will be completed before winter. Question asked.
Okay.
Other than the punctuation change, anything else on the minutes? Noting the change will take place, all in favor of approving the minutes as presented? The motion to approve the minutes as presented, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All same sign, motion carries. Financial reports, in your packet, you will find the usual array of financial reports, profit and loss, budget versus actual, balance sheet, check detail, a couple of pages on the back as well, deposit detail. Are there any questions generally about the reports?
175% on water system improvement.
I got it marked also.
We just haven't,
I said I got it marked also.
it's not changed, we just haven't moved it or moved money around yet.
You said there was something that had to be split up or something before, right? Wasn't there some comments on that?
There was,
Talking about water
We had
system
talked
improvements
about-
and
Making sure that some things were in the right spot or
Yeah, like
something.
the meeting was
that's part of the amendment
7:45 and
process
8:03
that's still underway.
that we were talking about.
Cause we approved it last month, I think, with the conditions or something along
I
those lines.
thought we did that already.
Well, I don't know that this has changed appreciably relative to figures from last month, that's part of the issue. We're still looking at the amendment that will take place relative to the budgets, and the amended budgets won't be presented until the January meeting. I'm still waiting for a catch-up on the revenue, as you can tell, relative to profit and loss. We've got income at about expenditures still at 170. We know there's revenue in the pipeline, has been out for the Osceola, utility expenses. Yeah, but we're not caught up yet. Until we see what the figures look like, we're simply moving numbers around in a vacuum. But we will be making the adjustments relative to maintenance and repair and water system improvements.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing that we
Signing
can do here is we could take, and like you said, some of this has to go to 745, but even if you put any of it on 745, that's gonna go way over too.
There's not enough, right, we need to add
So
money.
there, at some point here, I don't think there's any way we're getting around the fact that we're gonna have to add to that.
Right.
We will be looking at carry forward revenue to add to this budget, but wanna make certain of the figure before we present an amendment. That's why we're waiting until next month. Wanna make sure of what we've got in carry forward revenue that we can add to the budget for the board's consideration relative to expenditures incurred during the current fiscal year.
And the revenue will be, I can start updating it
Yeah.
now, I finally figured out the reporting.
So it won't be
Problems
simply
I was
changing
having.
maintenance and repair, for example, might go up by several thousand or a couple of tens of thousands of dollars, and we'll use carry forward revenue, but that will also increase the bottom line of the budget, which is perfectly appropriate. But we haven't identified that revenue yet. We need to see how much we're taking in through, like, this month, and we'll have a much clearer picture as to what we have from an expenditure and revenue standpoint, how much carry forward revenue we need to utilize to balance the current year's budget.
Alright,
It's a work in progress.
now we're gonna have a new budget here in a month or two.
Well, the ideal date would
Totally
be the
new.
12th of January. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to need it because we need a template for the preparation of next year's budget. Any other comments on the financial reports? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept the financial reports as presented.
A motion.
We have a motion from Ms. Houle, is there support?
I'll support.
Ms. Gardner, any further discussion on the motion to accept the financial reports as presented with the dialogue we've just had in mind? Amendment coming. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion to accept the financial reports, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Payment of bills. The bills have been before you on the table. Ms. Houle, is there anything you'd like to highlight relative to the bills of the water system?
Oh, pretty standard.
I think the only big one was like that Miss Dig.
Yeah, I don't
Membership
see anything-
renewal
or
whatever.
I don't think anything really crazy here.
No, just the
Motion to
membership.
pay the bills?
Motion to recommend the acceptance by the board?
Second,
Mr. Wareham and Mr. Janke, any further discussion on the motion to accept and make a recommendation up to the board to accept the bills? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Item 7 on our agenda is public comment. Anyone present, if you would like to address the Osceola Township Utility Board, you'll have an opportunity to do so now and again at the end of our meeting. Anybody wishing to comment before the Utility Board, please identify yourself and you'll have up to 3 minutes. Hearing none, we'll provide a second opportunity at the end of the meeting should someone wish to address the Utility Board before the meeting is adjourned. Please note the time the school or public comment is at for. Reports, water operators report, pumpage repairs, leaks at all. Mr. Matful, the floor is yours.
You got it right in front of you.
okay,
No. If you notice here that tank one, that's the tank that we emptied out and cleaned. And it was filled full, and it has to sit for a whole day. And the first sample went to Whitewater and the second sample went to Baraga. And they're both negative, so the tank was put back online on the 21st. Which brings me up to valves on the old tank, the drain valves, both of them are not working, need to be replaced. And it's big dollars,
How big are those?
those are 8 inch,
Hmm.
but to replace them, they're down about at least 12 feet. You have to remove the fence on that end to do it, so it's a pretty big project. One side, I opened it up and it drained out and I closed it. The other side, I couldn't get it to open, it broke the valve right away. So then, after I got the new tank back online, I was gonna have those guys do that old tank, the one that, you know, that I had open and closed. When I tried to open it, it wouldn't open.
Hmm.
Put about 80 turns in. So that one crapped out too.
Would we be better off putting a vault down there of some kind, or you just gonna put another one under, is it better, you're just gonna bury them direct again?
You still gotta dig a hole down that deep.
I know, I'm just asking if,
Yeah,
you know, I mean, would we be better
I
off
mean,
to have a
they
vault
got-
down there?
I don't see,
No?
that would make it.
Well, I mean, a lot of places that are, they're more important valves, sometimes they'll put a vault instead of just direct bury them, you know?
Yeah,
It is pretty deep though.
yeah, that's the thing, they gotta be dug up anyway, so.
Yeah, I mean, we could put like a manhole structure type of thing, you know, and you put the vault, you put the valve in the manhole structure. You can still operate it from above, but you know, doesn't, so the hard part about that is 12 foot deep, it's hard to keep them from filling with water too, when it's that deep. I don't know if it would drain or not, the vault.
Yeah.
Just asking, you know, I mean, we're gonna dig these up and now we're gonna have to replace them and probably would last a long time
I mean,
anyways.
they've
One
been
of them
working-
should be fairly new though, isn't
they've
it?
been no,
No, these ones
Not
are both,
those.
that's not.
those are drain valves,
Yeah, okay,
those are 70 years old,
okay, so,
so they're done.
okay,
We'll have to factor those into an amended budget for this year and or next year's budget.
That's gonna be next year.
Yeah,
Sometime.
Thank you.
Spring,
We have a time frame.
can you get us some numbers on those two?
and give it a shot. I
Please.
tried, he was supposed to come up, the guy that did the cleaning, he never did get back up there to look at him, so I'll call him again. Road commission came to my house and asked me to lower the valves on the corner of Second and Cedar. 3 of them were fine, but one we had to get a jackhammer down there, break through the blacktop, and we had to go down about that deep in order to be able to crank. Easy to crank them up, but down, not so easy.
So they're done already? You've already
Yeah.
done it?
Yeah.
Were they nicking them with the plow or something, or was he having?
Well, one on the shoulder was, I mean, I'm surprised he didn't break it off, but the other two were
I'm trying to figure out where Second and Cedar is.
during Burkhart's,
Oh, down there,
yeah. See,
okay,
there's 3 valves in the street and one is going back that way, that's the one that continues down to Cedar,
yeah,
down to First.
yeah, okay, that's only like a 3/4 street, right, that doesn't go all the way through? The Second doesn't go all the way through, does it?
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah.
What's the one that Dukes' mom is on? Pete, Dix' mom,
That's Second Street.
Pete and Tom, Dix' mom,
Yeah, that's Second.
that's
Street.
second, but
Yeah.
that only goes part way, and then there's that, isn't that a part street? Yeah, okay, anyways, that's the one, hey, we didn't do any work there, is what I'm getting at, so those were always up. It would've been nice for them to tell us that, like, in the
Well, see,
summertime.
we replaced those, it was, I don't remember when we did the work, but, and they were in the blacktop, they were fine, but eventually, you know, that ground just moves down and
Okay,
they were sticking out.
alright,
And I had Paul Champagne doing a lot of work for me, digging stuff up. He was working on, Durian's corner. Anyway, the only other thing is, those tires that are on the truck are for crap. I mean, trying to plow and I got stuck and I had to call Ronnie up at the tank, at the Tamarack tank. So I got a quote from the tire shop, $861.76.
What kind of tires are those?
Those are the Cooper mud and snow. Those are, I mean, really good tires.
That's a good quote. But, I'm just trying to wonder if we'd be better off having a set of winter and a set of summer tires for that truck.
Well, those are winters and those could be used as summer they'd be fine for the summer. But if you gotta have the winter tires, I mean, I'm not kidding you, I was plowing and I had to call Ronnie, I was trying to plow up to that propane tank there and the truck went like this. And I was screwed, I probably shoveled for like almost 45 minutes before Ronnie came there and I did get out by myself, I was amazed, but.
The ones that are on are good enough for next summer though?
Yeah.
So we could use the ones that are on there for summertime.
Yep.
Yeah.
But these ones, we'll buy a set of winter tires then is what we're gonna
Correct.
do here, and then you can take them off.
Correct.
Yeah, okay, that's the way to do it. Okay, good deal.
Tire shop will take them off, you're not gonna take them off.
That's what I meant.
That's all.
Okay.
That's what I meant.
With regards to the
Well,
tires, what's the
I
board's
took this-
pleasure? Do we need a second estimate, or are we gonna make a recommendation up
I don't think
to
we
the
can
board
beat
to
that price,
purchase the
but-
tires?
Well, I don't think you can wait another month, so I'll make a motion, you buy those tires.
I mean, you can get them right away. There's usually a problem
We
getting
have a
winter
motion
tires.
on the floor. Is there support from Mr. Janke?
If I would've told him today, he would've had them.
Hang on, Bob. There's a motion on the floor
Yes,
purchase
there's support.
and there's a support from Mr. Janke. Discussion, Mr. Janke.
I was asking if he can get them right away.
Yeah.
Cause I wanted to know if that was what we were going to do. So if I was going to support it, I wanted to know. And the other option would be to, yes, check with like Dave's or Firestone or Fine Line or something like that.
My only concern was, we can't.
It's hard to get white winter tires right now.
We can't make a decision till next month and just say, I'll go with it. Cause we won't have a quote by then.
Yeah.
So my idea was, get,
Well, we have a motion relative to the tire shop with a support. We can add to the motion that we check a couple of other places about availability and cost and set a maximum price.
I would say that this price right here, what kind of tire was it?
Cooper's.
It's a Cooper. Mud and
That's a
stuff.
pretty good price
Yeah, I think you're right.
for a 3/4 ton truck. So they're low range E's.
They're, 10 ply.
That's a low range.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for a low range E 860, that's a really good price.
Got that right.
210 a price, probably 200, and then does that include the balancing and mounting?
That's on the
Yeah,
road.
that's a good
And
price.
it was a good price.
Gonna beat that.
So we have a motion on the floor to recommend to the board that the available tires from the tire shop in Hancock got a quote of $861.76. With Mr. Janke's support be approved. Any further discussion on the motion to make this recommendation to the board? Bob, anything you'd like to add? Aaron? No? All in favor of the motion to recommend to the board accepting the offer from the tire shop in Hancock relative to the quote, the Cooper tires at $861.76 out the door, correct? On the road. That's the motion, Mr. Wareham?
Yes.
All in favor of the motion to recommend that to the board, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries, thank you. Bob, anything else? Thank you. Secretary's report.
Do we have one?
Ms. Gardner has attached Secretary's report.
Yeah.
My
like it.
secretary will remember.
When I say, do we have one, that was where I was going with that, not the report part.
You still have a temporary one.
Oh,
She's doing a
I
great
see,
job.
missed that one completely.
Yeah.
And the answer is no. Still filling in with existing staff. Any questions, comments, concerns? Ms. Gardner, anything you'd like to highlight in the report?
Nope.
Any questions of Ms. Gardner?
I do have a question for you. Did they miss their call you?
Yeah, he talked to me too.
From Calumet,
Yes,
it's all taken care of,
you got that straightened out?
totally straightened out.
Okay, he was a little.
Yep. I know,
He was excited.
Yeah.
I have a long text.
yep,
I do too.
Yes.
yep, he called me,
And many of them.
he called me a few times at home too, but yeah, it's all
Funny.
square.
Opened the tax bill and seen significant.
Okay.
Moving on, item C, Mason Sewer Operator Report. Regret to inform you that our sewer operator in Mason is homebound for a few days. Had hoped to get a report down to me, and that's why I kept checking my email prior to the meeting, and unfortunately did not arrive. Jim's doing well, but apparently there are family with health issues.
Okay.
So, he's not sure about availability for the next few days, but hopeful that, we,
Something did come up, what will we do right here?
other than contact him and check status right away, I'm not sure what else at this moment. Do we have a
So
backup?
if we had a problem with the lift station, for instance, what will we do right here?
He called up the engineer.
I'm just asking, no, I'm just
Well, your
asking.
point's well made.
And I know why you're asking.
How can I say it without going too far down the conversation? He is okay and available,
Okay,
but not moving around much under the circumstances.
okay.
But as of the conversation, he is available should something come up. But your point is well made. Goes to earlier discussions this evening. Yeah. So, that's as much as I have right there, and the anticipated report did not arrive prior to the meeting convening. Unfinished business, do we have anything under unfinished business? We have nothing under new business either, unless there is something that the board individually, collectively, believes we need to address prior to calling for public comment one more time.
So
Mr. Janke.
you got you're covering any of this new information that you were talking about on funding for, COVID style funding?
We have information and some of the resources are in already.
Half, we got half.
We still are awaiting guidance, if I recall correctly, on specific use.
It
I
did seem to,
can-
it did seem to say you were really strongly leaning now towards pretty much it has to be spent on the water system.
Well, I think there are reasons to believe that infrastructure with an emphasis on water is what's going to come ultimately out of the state. But we still are awaiting guidance to see what kind of flexibility we're gonna have with that resource, and we don't have it yet. Although half of the resources have been distributed.
Yeah,
And
it's
are
there.
currently held by us.
Yep.
We just don't have guidance as to what their use is. But we wanna be able to, if possible, incorporate those resources in some way, shape, or form into the amended budgets going forward before the end of the fiscal year, with plans for the utilization either between now and the end of March, and then into the new fiscal year, because we have what, until 24?
I think we just got a new one, so.
Yeah, we may have, based on the conversation a few moments ago.
Correct.
Well,
Okay.
and then additionally, the state senate approved $3.3 billion to be used towards water, and they're kind of specifically looking at the lead water, or lead line, things, because they mandated it,
It'd be
so.
really nice if
a
that
few
could
years
retroactive
later-
that too, but yeah, probably won't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I just caught an email before I left that went into a little more detail, I didn't have time to
Okay.
read it, so I'll
Okay.
get
And
that
if I may
together
stay
next
with
month.
that theme, the House hasn't taken that up yet.
Not yet, but it's expected to pass
Expected,
there
if it
also,
doesn't happen before the holidays, it'll happen immediately after.
in the beginning of the year is what they're thinking.
Calendar year.
Mhm.
So Clerk, that's apparently part of the infrastructure money coming in from Washington. They wanna get it out the door as fast as they can.
Okay.
Thank you, good questions. I wish I had definitive answers. Anything else before I ask for public comment? One more time. Hearing none, we've reached the end of our agenda. There's a second opportunity for public comment. If anyone would like to address the utility board, you'll be given up to 3 minutes. We'll only ask that you identify yourself, and the clock will start running when you begin speaking. Is anybody interested in addressing the utility board?
Or should I, question on the tires, is that split between the two water systems? Cost of running the truck and the buying tires and all of that?
Maintenance and repairs.
Yes, it is.
The general way of maintenance and repair relative to the water system, I believe, is a 2/3, 1/3 split between the two participating water systems.
Okay. Just wanted to ask, thank you.
Welcome. Any other comments? Anyone else like to address the water board? You have up to 3 minutes. Hearing none, please note the time. With no other items to come before the board on our agenda and no items added to the agenda, a motion to adjourn is in order. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Move.
Mr. Janke, is there support?
Support.
Mr. Wareham, a motion and support to adjourn. All in favor of the motion to adjourn, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We stand adjourned. Please note the time. We will convene the board meeting at 6:30. Thank you.